How bad was it that short-term visa holders, 457 visa holders, weren't eligible for JobKeeper? What impact did that have on your hotels and, in your view, the wider hospitality industry?
Well, listen, it was disastrous, mate. 457 visa holders make up a very significant part of our workforce right across this country. Every kind of hospitality organisation requires them, needs them, not because it's easy, not because it's cheap, it's neither of those things, Michael. It's because we have no choice whatsoever. We cannot find Australians to fill some of these jobs. And 457 visa holders do those jobs, and they do them really, really well. They've done them for decades, and we needed them. And when the pandemic hit in this country, the federal government built a great program called JobKeeper, but it excised, it got rid of 457 visa holders. It said, you are not worthy of being part of this program. We don't need you, we don't want you. And it got rid of short-term casual employees. So anyone who'd been in a casual job for less than a year weren't covered by JobKeeper. Now, that is the hospitality workforce.
Yep.
457 visa holders and short-term casual employees, that's us. That's the whole bag, Michael. That's it. And they were left out of JobKeeper. So as a result, we've got an entire generation of hospitality workers who don't work in hospitality anymore. Like the 457 visa holders were told to leave the country. The PM stood there and said, it's time to go home. Now, for most of those people, this was home. Let's not forget that. They've been working here and paying taxes here, building a life here for years, Michael. And they were told to go home. And they did. So they're gone. Meanwhile, our casual workforce, not on JobKeeper, they had no choice but to go somewhere else.
So they've gone somewhere else,
and
they've gone somewhere else, and they haven't come back. Is, I guess, the situation you're facing, and a lot of other hospitality owners too.
That's it. That's exactly right, mate. Now, listen, the 457 question, the challenge on, for instance, finding workers to work in kitchens, that's been pre-existing. We've had that problem for decades. I've been doing this for 20 years, and any publican will tell you the same thing. That is a massive, massive hole to fill in our business. But it's just been exacerbated enormously in the last year or so. But Michael, you know, that's just, I mean, if that was the only problem we had, I'd be okay.
Well, I want to look at some of the other problems.
Not.
Let's talk about, okay, with the Victorian government. All the states have different restrictions, but the capacity restrictions still in place imposed by the Victorian government, which effectively limits you to half capacity. At the same time, we're about to see, for instance, 85,000 people pack into the MCG over the weekend. How does that make you feel?
Mate, it makes me feel great. I am over the moon that the MCG is going to be full. I love the footy. I'm going to be there this weekend with my kids. That's really, really good. But the idea that the MCG is going to have 85,000 people in it and the pub down the road can't even have half its patron numbers, that is a problem. It's a massive problem. The AFL is not going to die. The AFL is going to be there next year or the year after or the year after. But the pubs down the road, the pubs you go to before and after, great pubs like the London, the Richmond Club, the Swan, the Precinct, these pubs have been serving this community for over 100 years. And those pubs mightn't last next month.
Okay, it's that dire.
It is absolutely that dire. Think about this, right? Those pubs have been closed for the better part of a year. Not doing it tough, not under pressure. They've been closed, Michael.
Yep.
Closed for the better part of a year. And even now, with the 1 in 2 square metre rule, they're open, but they're only open at 50% capacity. Now, just imagine if we said to every company, imagine if we said to every miner in this country, there's iron ore in the ground, your workforce wants to mine it, you want to mine it, your customers want to buy it, but we'll only let you mine half of it. Imagine if we said it to lawyers or said it to accountants or said it to tradies. I mean, the whole country would stop. It would never happen, and yet for some reason, we think our industry can survive that. Of course it can't survive it.